Hello and welcome to We Women Want. Well, this week we picked up a particularly hot potato at a time when we are all debating the Trisha Sharma case. We are appalled as to what happened to that young girl who had not even been married for 6 months, circumstances that led to her either taking her own life or abetment to suicide or even murder. The treatment she got from her husband and her mother-in-law is there in all the headlines. The mother-in-law is actually relating it with great relish. She's not even ashamed or aware of all that she's done. But at a time like this, there is also the release of a film Bandar, which has been released by Anurag Kashyap. The film actually takes a look at the other side, where women actually misuse laws that are there to help other women. I hope I don't really release too many details about the film, but in the film, there are a couple who meet on a dating app. They date, they go out, but after a point, the boy dumps the girl. He ghosts her, and she in turn raises allegations of rape and files a case against him. So, is this a case of rape? Is this woman misusing law? Not all women do it. These laws are meant to help women because we really need that balance field to be leveled. But at the end of the day, even if 5% women misuse it, then they're giving the other women become collateral damage. So I think as part of a debate on feminism and women's rights, we also have to debate what women are doing wrong so that not all of us get tarnished by the same brush. Joining me for this conversation today, I have with me Leher Kala. She is a columnist with the Indian Express. Deepika Narayan Bhardwaj, she's a documentary filmmaker and also the director at Ekam Nyay Foundation, and Radhika Vaz, a stand-up comic. Leher, I'll begin with you because, as I said, there is the Trisha Sharma case, there is the film Bandar, there is also the Shilpa Shinde case. I don't know whether you've heard of it, where she's an actress who had raised allegations again of sexual harassment against her producer, and 10 years later, she confesses in a podcast, I only raised those allegations because I wanted to get out of a restrictive contract. There is Omar Rashid, a journalist who was accused by, of sexual harassment. NHRC looked into the case and again found those cases to be false. But in the meantime, they have lost that producer and Omar Rashid and other million other cases who have lost professionally, they've lost socially. So,
So I'd like to say at the outset, there are unscrupulous men and there are devious women. There are devious men and there are unscrupulous women, okay? Somehow in our narrative, the women have support and the law on their side currently. And when they make an accusation that a man raped me or he hit me, it's devastating for a man if it's not true, you see? Now, I would like to say at the outset, I have been noticing over the last couple of years, there is a little bit of a pushback. I'll give you an example. In January this year, the Orissa High Court quashed rape cases against a man, saying that the failure of a relationship turning into marriage can be a personal grievance, okay? But it's not a crime, okay? So little by little, you are seeing cases like this come out. There's a little more awareness about this. And it's also a fact, if anyone's had any experience with a divorce lawyer as a woman, first thing the divorce lawyer will say, suno, DV laga denge. Accusation ये रख दो, ये लिख लो कि उसने मुझे मारा है, यहाँ मारा है, तुम्हारी सास ने तुम्हें ये नहीं दिया, वो नहीं दिया, dowry मांगी. Because see, giving an accusation is a very easy thing. Now, in the case of this Orissa case, this accusation was made in 2012. It took till 2026 for this judge to quash this rape allegation, you see. So he's lived for 14 years with this, and unfortunately in today's world, a court giving you a clean chit means nothing because you've already been condemned by your friends, family and social media. Yeah. So how do you save a guy in a situation like this? How do you compensate someone for a crime like this? So I would like to say as a woman that women like this they must be given the strictest of strict punishments, because it's really unfair.
On this case.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they give the rest who actually harassed women,
yeah. And let's be clear, the number of women suffering at men's hands is quadruple or a million times more than men. But that doesn't mean that there are not enough men who are not falling prey to a really corrupt and difficult legal system. And of course, social accountability, the man is always in the wrong, Yeah. So something does need to change, although I do feel little by little there is a lot more awareness about this. Deepika would know better, but
Deepika has a whole file of awareness in front of her. But Deepika, I also remember another case of Sanjay Rajora. He's a stand-up comic. He has actually filed a case in the Delhi High Court. He was again dating a woman. He broke up with her. She filed a case alleging harassment and abuse, mental and physical abuse against him at a lower court. The court found there was nothing in the charges and found in his favor, dropped the case. And after that, he's put up a Facebook post, narrating all this, and she has carried out a campaign, of a lot of charges on social media where, people who want to hire him or, will again think twice because they of abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, etc., etc. Now, fed up, he's actually gone to the court saying that, file a defamation case or get her to stop. So there are these cases also that don't help our cause.
Priya, totally with Leher when she says women who are, doing wrong to men or filing false cases, they must be strictly punished. And I am all for women's rights. I'm all for men who wrong women or who are perverts, who are rapists. They don't have any place in the society. I'm very clear about that. My concern comes from a place where yesterday there's a guy who was trying to make Delhi beautiful. He's trying to renovate the underpasses. Underpass ke niche jo jagah hoti hai, he's trying to plant trees over there and things like that. Now, people who have occupied those places, juggi jo bana ke wahan pe rehte hain, he has put out a video where the woman is threatening him कि if you dare to remove us from here, मैं तेरे ऊपर rape case लगा दूंगी. So when this mentality has percolated to that level of the society, where women are thinking that to get out of any situation, the easiest thing to do is to file a sexual harassment or a rape case, I think it's a very serious concern. Shilpa Shinde confesses now that she filed a false sexual harassment case. Everybody in the industry knew, but because she created such a furore, and I would, ask you to pause for a moment and remember, Priya, when she came in Bigg Boss, when she actually hurled these sexual harassment allegations, she cried on TV. A woman making false allegations 10 years ago was crying on TV, shedding crocodile tears, making everyone believe that she has gone through immense trauma. And today she laughs out on a podcast and says, "Sab kuch jhoot tha." And even after that, when people have called her out, she's saying, "Jo ukhadna hai, ukhad lo." This is not one Shilpa Shinde, Priya. We deal with false rape cases day in, day out. I've put out audio recordings of women saying, "Na koi mera kuch ज़बरदस्ती कर सकता है, ना कभी किया है, ना कर सकता है." This woman has filed 7 rape cases on 7 different boys, making the same allegation, Leher, कि शादी का झांसा देके मेरे को rape किया, on 7 different boys. And we have 40 to 45 such cases right now that we are dealing with, where all of these women have filed 3 rape cases, 4 rape cases, 15 rape cases, 16 rape cases. We have got women arrested under charges of extortion. They have come out and then filed more rape cases. So it's like, how is it so easy to take the law and turn it around and use it against anybody that you want? Our system then is failing. There's no doubt it has failed women also, and now it is failing men also.
Yeah, I think the pendulum of sexual politics is shifting. Early on, there is a correction that is long due. Maybe there is an overcorrection, maybe to the other side. So somewhere the balance will be found. But now men are facing the same fear that women are facing. When before going out, they say, be careful, who you're going out with. Girls are always told to be careful. Now men also, I think, will need to be careful because you also don't know what the girl is going to turn around and say to you in the next time.
You also don't know when you're going to be in a comedy club being recorded talking utter and complete rubbish and letting down every man. This whole thing of not all men, but it's also not all women. Like there are these people who are highly privileged. It appears to me that most of these cases are highly privileged women. They're educated women. They seem to have access to lawyers. They seem to have access to money. And they are the ones doing this nonsense. But they don't in any way tarnish me or any of us sitting over here because we are not those people. Similarly, this boy
these are not women with privilege for sure, Radhika. We have got cases from lower middle class strata, from poor people, very poor people. There is this, I'll tell you, the kind of difference that we're talking about. Sonam Raghuvanshi got out from the charges of murder. She's got out on bail within 11 months. There's this guy, Vishnu Tiwari, absolute lower strata of society, spent 20 years in jail before he was found innocent. This is Gopal Shetty again, बहुत छोटी तबके का केस है, 7 साल जेल में था, then found innocent. Vipul Narkar, again, you know, from a lower middle class family, his ex-wife actually got a false rape case filed on him, spent 7 years in jail before coming out. Prince, you know, very बहुत ही छोटा, उसके पापा एक छोटी सी दुकान चलाते थे, पैसे के dispute में got case filed. So it is happening everywhere, but the point is, if somebody is doing it the way we expect men to be punished, and rightly so, I think the society as a whole needs to come to this point that if a woman is misusing the law, then I think there should be repercussions.
I think
So that
most
people
people
don't
feel
think-
that way. Like, I think that when someone does something that's completely wrong and unlawful, they should face the consequences of their action. I'm not arguing that at all, by the way, just to be clear. What I am just responding to is that I don't think that, you know, the way men blithely go about their lives, not thinking even once that, oh, this guy in the comedy club was talking rubbish and so now that affects me in some way. They don't think that. Why should we think it? Like, I don't think that I'm that. And I don't think them doing it is casting any poor light on the rest of us. They're like a small percentage of women in general.
No, I don't know about casting a poor light on the rest of us, but the next time someone genuinely brings up a case, there may be a thing that, you know, is she...
That is something we have to guard against because
That's
that
the
should
worry.
not happen.
That is the
That-
worry.
yeah, so-
has it a relationship gone sour, or is it she actually been raped and abused? And, you know, when you say, Leher, that you're going out with a guy and you're having, you know, I'm bringing up this famous 370 biryani case, you know, where you see the other side also. You're going on a date. You may not...
Yeah, this guy humiliated
tell
her.
me.
Okay, number one, he humiliated her. What I also feel in general is that what men don't understand is that when they marry women or date women as equals, the minute a woman becomes financially capable, what happens is her tolerance goes down and her expectations go up. Okay? I mean, that is basically what happens. And the thing is, these men are stuck in some time warp, you know. They still think, like, you know, there was that very nice Ayushmann Khurrana movie, I can't remember who it was, in which a gay man marries a lesbian woman, just, you know, to keep up this fast. But he still expected her to make tea for him. And she told him that, listen, I'm not going to make tea for you. This is, I'm not your wife, you know. And you should, but that is the level, you know. So the thing is that this is a problem of entitlement, yeah. And what these guys are not getting basically is that today, hell hath no fury, thy woman treated unequally at a certain level, you know.
But, you know,
So there's a pushback, and that pushback is required also, Priya, because, you know, what's happening is that these guys are still expecting the wives to sort of cater to their mothers and their fathers and their brothers, and that, you know, that time in India in a certain level is gone. You know, whether the girl is from Roorkee, Raipur or Delhi, you know, if she's got enough money, she's not going to take this nonsense.
So there are two kinds of expectations or the rules of engagement really. One is, of course, this what you're talking about, that women, traditional roles have to be now redefined.
Correct.
But the other thing is, have they been redefined so much that the women are now, you know, using them, laws which were meant to balance the equation are now being misused.
I don't think
But
so.
those
you
are
know.
separate things. Those
And
are separate
I
things.
don't even
What
think
she's saying
so.
is one thing, and then what she's saying is another
Yeah.
thing.
So my thing,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Those are separate.
I think they're separate
See, there
things.
will always be a few cases in which somebody jerky will get away with murder, okay,
Yeah.
as is the case here. But by and large, I think it would still be a very small minority. in
But it's
which-
the small minority that one worries about, because
But
that-
why do we worry about them? Someone like her is taking them to task.
she's one person. How
I
many
think it is, and this one person gets abused, ridiculed, put down, called pick me, and called misogynist all the time. And you know, Priya, when you were speaking about movie Bandar and also relationships gone sour, I think we have to be very, very mindful that rape is a very, very serious crime. It cannot be trivialized at all.
So is the acquisition of it.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Now, there was a movie recently where Taapsee Pannu was leading. I'm not remembering. I think it was Chappan or what was, if
Thappad.
no, not Thappad. No, about rape cases in India. There was a movie of Taapsee Pannu recently. Now, there's a movie made where a woman who has been brutally raped does, fights for justice. And it's a beautiful film, a little bit of courtroom drama, and also how men who rape women try to get away and engage lawyers and all of that. And now there is Bandar. Okay, so these are two sides of the same coin. One where a woman is fighting for justice, and one where a man who has been falsely accused is fighting for justice. I don't think so you can undermine either of them because of numbers, because these are human lives that are at stake. Justice should happen to this woman also, and justice should happen to this man also. And if I speak about numbers, you can call them minority or whatever. In 2019, I'm speaking data here from National Crime Records Bureau. I've made a documentary called India's Sons on False Rape Cases, and I was researching for almost 1.5 2 years. In 2019, Priya, the number of rape cases filed on false promise of marriage as percentage of the total rape cases was 19%, 19%. By 2021, this number has gone up to 50%. So for almost 50% of the rape cases now, our courts are basically judging that this man and this woman were together for either 6 months or 6 years or maybe 10 years. And then the woman says, when she consented for sex for the first time, it was only because the man said that he's going to marry me.
No, that, yeah.
And the court
There's
is
a
going
law.
to sit and decide whether that first promise was deception or false or without any intent, or it was genuine promise, but then later he decided not to marry. So is that what we call rape? But this man has the tag of a rapist. He's immediately arrested. Just yesterday, there's a case from Gurgaon that has
I'm
come.
going to quickly,
The man was being blackmailed by his girlfriend. He filed the complaint first. Then she slapped a rape case on him. He's the one sitting behind bars right now.
Okay, so I'm going to just take a break, and I think what you said at one point was very, this thing that let's not see it from gender lens, but from justice versus injustice. I think each case, perhaps going forward, should be seen with that point in mind. But take a quick break, we're going to come back. Hello and welcome back to We Women Want. This week we are actually having a very controversial discussion, but the rules of engagement are changing. We had a lot of laws which were there to help women come. Maybe it is women, of a certain privileged class. I would still say it's a privileged class misusing these laws more than anything else. But as a lot of people, for instance, if something happens to a friend of ours, we know that he's being unfairly targeted. Very few people would actually come forward and defend him because there will be the accusation saying you are being anti-feminist, you are targeting a woman. So that pressure is also there now.
See, I think, again, I like the fact that we're looking at it as justice and not male-female. Everyone should get justice, right? I think also society is changing. So, the way things were once upon a time, that's not how it is anymore. So the way a man and a woman engage, whether it's emotionally or sexually or in a relationship or not, things are changing. Like Leher just said, even marriages are changing, expectations are changing. And with it, the way we look at all of this, what constitutes an accusation of rape, what is the evidence that needs to be brought, does a relationship not working out, is that still going to be a thing or not? I feel these things are changing. Our society has been so old-fashioned for so long. Yeah, some of these laws were put in place because we lived in the worst case scenario and women were being treated so badly and it was so difficult to get any justice for a woman. So now, yes, you're right, the pendulum, it has to swing in one direction a little harder, and then probably things will start to settle. The collateral damage that some women are, now we have some collateral damage of it being men. I'm not saying it's right, I'm just saying it is.
I agree with Radhika, though we are on different spectrums. I think I agree with it. There are just so many men who do so wrong that it becomes difficult sometimes to even put your mind together and say that, okay, there is so much of wrong happening to women. It would be normal for a person to say, why would we speak? I understand that perspective as well, but it is needed for that balance to somewhere arrive.
See, I think women also need to take a good, long, hard look at themselves, because they sort of create this patriarchy. If you go to any of these elite matchmaking websites, I was just seeing an example of what the leader at that elite matchmaking site was saying. So 2 26-year-olds will go out, both are working, but the girl expects the guy to own his own house. Okay? So you don't own your own house. So why is it that you expect him to own his own house?
Well, can I just say,
know?
the elite class, we are the worst.
Yeah.
We are the worst, but we are not even the ones I want to
You got to
protect.
call out your own rubbish also. You know?
100%.
So there's a problem here. The women, for some reason, we are in 2026, but why do they equate sex with marriage? This is the biggest problem, and they feel that if you're having sex without being married, you're in some way why are they thinking like this? Especially if you've got money.
Especially when you are a progressive
So
woman.
that
who
needs
has-
to, see, this is actually the elephant in the room. Everything, these are all sexual politics.
It is
For
sexual
some
politics.
reason, women they feel that they are at a weaker position despite education. These are women with MBAs, these are women with, with financial means. They come from wealth. They're probably going to do very well, but they're still caught up in these Victorian notions. So why is it that they're caught up like this?
Or even
There is-
staying
there
in
is
a
there
bad
is demand
marriage.
there is demand of men
Conditioning.
in matrimonial disputes. Priya, there are just these cases are everywhere. There are women who are extremely needy, who do not have a job and who have left their job and they have been in long marriages. They ask for maintenance, fair enough. But today we are seeing cases where 1 month of marriage, 6 months of marriage, just 1 year of marriage, the woman has an MBA or has done decent education equivalent to the man, but she would ask for 15,000, 20,000, 25,000, 50,000 of maintenance after leaving her job to sort of seek some vengeance from the man. And the worst scenario, which usually people don't talk about when gender conversations are there, is in matrimonial disputes, the kids being deprived of their father. The moment a divorce situation happens, we deal with these fathers every single day, not able to see their child.
Yeah, that's.
We also deal with, and I completely agree with you, we also deal with fathers who abdicate the responsibility completely to the mothers.
Yes,
See,
there are.
it's
Yeah.
very
That's
difficult.
very complex.
It is a
it
case
is-
by case, yeah.
It's
It is case
it's
by
so
case,
case by
absolutely,
case, right?
absolutely.
There
It
is
is
no.
case by
But
case.
then
mean,
are the
even
rules
within-
of engagement changing? Now, if you ghost someone, because we are living in the age of swipe left and swipe
Yeah.
right, if you don't like someone or you drop them or you ghost them, then the man has to do so at his own peril, because the woman may turn around and say, look,
I
we
think
met on
that
the expectation of marriage, you didn't give it to me.
fair, and I think that is definitely, from what I'm hearing, a risk that it's shocking to me, obviously, because I don't think like that, but clearly that is something that a lot of women are feeling they can do. And now there's again the ones who are taking it and misusing it. I'm not defending them, but I am saying that there is now a swath of men who will have to look at how they behave with women, because I think for the longest time we've not talked to our boys about what is dating going to be like, what is consent, how do you behave in a relationship, how do you start a relationship, how do you have sex with a woman without making her feel a certain way. We don't even talk to our children about this, but maybe all of this will start to at least open some conversations.
I
Yeah,
think
good,
a really big point that we
Let
are
Leher
missing.
come in.
Yeah, Leher,
Yeah,
please.
you know what I'd like to say is that going forward, you have to raise your boys and girls exactly the same. And the problem in India is that the boys are the center of the universe, and then they're raised to be the center of the universe. And then the minute they exit your house, they realize it's a shattering blow
It's
to figure
horrible.
out that you're not the
You're
center of the
not.
universe. And bad things are going to happen to you. And the women now have the means to make those bad things happen to you. So so this is, I think it is happening. But the whole problem is also the court system. Men don't get justice, women don't get justice. These cases are registered, they
Slow,
go
they go
on
so
for 10,
slow.
12 years,
But in the meantime, the social and the professional costs.
It's a huge trauma
course,
for
very
both
traumatic.
people.
Whoever's facing
Yeah,
the
and
false
it stops you from
accusation.
moving on with your life. Yeah. And also, what is this whole behavior that even if a relationship ends bitterly, it's ended, you can move on with your life. Right? Why is it that women also carry this burden that,
I think
divorce
that's
and
also
all
our
that?
social conditioning. I'm not saying people like,
Yeah.
maybe you, me, or the four of us, but I do believe that, there is a strata of society where premarital sex is such a sin, it's such a crime
But
for
is
the
it still
woman.
such a sin?
I think for some
Is it
people
still
it
such a
still
sin?
is.
Much
I think
less.
so.
I say much less.
Even in different stratas, I would
Yeah,
say.
even I feel so.
Maybe much less, but it's still, I
But
think
there's
it's
still pressure for
treated
women.
It's a stick
oddly.
It's pressure for women for
It's
some
still
reason.
weird.
while
it
it's
for
not
some
for men.
reason. Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
I
There
think-
is
there's
a
some
I think
pressure.
I loved what Leher said. I think women need to reflect at their own thinking as well, Priya. I think no matter what the situation, no matter how much, right to say they had, they did not exercise that right, and then they later said, we are victims. Just to give an example, we are seeing a lot of murders today, okay, where the woman has, conspired with the lover and killed the husband. And now, in some discussions and debates, a lot of women's rights activists say, oh, they were married forcibly. You should have fought with your parents to not marry this man. You have a voice today. Just day before yesterday, there's a suicide that has happened in Jhansi, and a dowry death case is now being foisted, where the woman loved somebody else, but she got married to this man. This woman's father is saying, I never had a clue that she loved somebody else. Now, if you love someone else, you tell it to your parents. You fight with your parents. We are seeing a lot of confrontation today happening in in-laws' place, that I will wear what I want to wear, I will do what I want to do. First, start with your parents. Let the parents come to terms with, okay, my daughter is going to live the way she wants. And I think then comes the in-laws family. So
So it
women
is
today
bringing
have
up girls
a
as well as
voice.
bringing up boys, what Leher said.
You have to, and the thing is, women are now protected. You've got an equal share of your inheritance from your parents' side also. So they are much more protected than they were 20, 25 years ago. So that's also given women confidence, right, in demanding what they need in their marriages and relationships. Yeah.
Correct. So I mean, at the end of the conversation, the takeaway is that, rules of engagement are changing. And I think we caught in the middle of the correction phase, really. The laws were there, they're meant to help women, and they have helped. There are many women who could not speak up earlier are now speaking up, because there is a support system, NGOs, the laws, police, lawyers. But there are also other women who are misusing the system. And I think that is really where the catch comes in, because that, even though it's a very minuscule percent, that gives a bad name, takes away the credibility of those who really need it, which is why we're having this discussion today, which is why films are also being made to give the other side of the story also. But thank you.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.